And then we're getting into your stuff. ZEUS, yeah. You want to talk about
ZEUS is incorporating Cashu in, which is, all the rage these days. It's pretty interesting. I almost think people would do this even if it weren't eCash and it were just like a custodial software that you could run on top of your Lightning node that had a public API that people could use. I think this might occur that way, but then you have eCash that has these other properties that are desirable for people and allows, the Mint operators are, more, their identity is a little more hidden, and so maybe they feel like they're a little safer running a service this way rather than a normal custodial service. But
yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm just more bearish on eCash than I've ever been after Ben Carmen's LDK.
What does that have to do with?
Well, because last week I'll let you finish, but last week's workshop, like literally, like I was just like, damn, this is where we're at with Lightning. Anyways, but go for it.
It's so this is rather than like the last mile, this is like the first mile of the ZEUS wallet experience. It's basically he's adding it sort of like how Mutiny added eCash when Mutiny existed. Was they allowed you to have this custodial wallet, which they're outsourcing to a mint run by someone. And then as you build up a balance in that custodial, or you build up eCash in that custodial mint, then you at some point can open a channel with it and then become like a normal sovereign Lightning user and not have the rug pull potential. And so that's kind of their first mile to get you the rest of the way. And it seems, I don't think Evan does things that are.
No, dude, I love Evan. I think Evan should build whatever he wants to build. And we talked about when I used to do Thriller, I had him on and we talked about eCash, and I asked him, like, would he implement eCash? And at the time he said he's just like, it's too early. There's just not enough. I think he just said there just wasn't enough documentation, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. There just wasn't enough guides. And then he said it was just still too early, but he's open to looking at it. I think that was his answer. And he just wasn't sure yet. And I guess now he's sure, or he had a second look at it. So from that conversation that we had, I'd have to go back and listen to it. But the vibe I always got from him was he was open to listening to understanding it more. But
bye, Oliver.
Later, Oliver. He was never like fully against it. But he's a builder. Evan's a builder. He's always just going to build. I mean, that's one thing I've always understood about you guys. It's like some people just want to build, so they're just going to build.
That was kind of my point. Is that I think he thought about this. I don't think it's like he needs to just build something. So he's building something. I think he's actually considered this as something that would help people use his product more successfully. And that's why he added it. I had some questions about it, like how is he picking the mint? Is he defaulting people to a mint? If the customer is selecting it and they're completely new to something like Bitcoin, which is how this is sort of presented, then how are they even like picking a trustworthy mint to begin with? And I think Supratic responded to me that they have like a mint selection tool that links you to reviews about the mint from Noster posts, and that's how they're doing it, which is interesting. And I think there are like several Cashu mints. I think there's tens of them now, so it's probably somewhat hard to pick among them. Anyway, I thought it was pretty. As far as developer stuff that's going on, this was one of the bigger things I think that happened this week is ZEUS adding a custodial option that they don't where they aren't custodians because they're using a like a uniform interface for a bunch of custodians.
Yeah, it's bring your own